Hello, Mr. Wisdom here. Let's talk about white people, white Americans. For some reason, I know the reason, most don't, but they're constantly attacked simply because their skin happens to be white. They're racist, they're Nazis, fascists. Every one of them. That's weird how that happens. You mean the white skinned Armenians are racist? White skinned Greeks, Italians, Arabs, like, Syrians, Lebanese? I've met a ton of Lebanese, hundreds. Most of them had white skin. So they're all white supremacists? How does that work? It's ridiculous. Um, so what happens is they use the same crap that the white racists used, 100 plus years ago, to try and brainwash the public into hating black people, telling everybody most white people had no encounters with black people. And so if you're told for your whole life that those black people, they're all crazy, they're drug addicts, they're criminals, they're rapists, stay away from them. Then you look at them and go, oh, bunch of maniacs. So the exact same thing, exact same racist bull crap, that's what they've been doing to white people. And people just eat it up. Why? Because you have some misplaced anger. So, okay, well, just blame the white people for everything. That's funny. Let's examine that, shall we? That's what I want to do today. Examine how white people are supposed to be racist. But first of all, it's obviously not in your DNA. That's ridiculous. But you should, of course, always judge people by who they are and what they've done. Nothing else. Furthermore, in this country, white Americans are still the predominant ones that are in military, rescue, uh, fire, police, doctors, nurses, EMTs, right? So you're telling me the people who are saving your life, black people, Latinos, Asians, people who are saving your life, stopping your house from being burnt, are racist and they hate you? Then why would they do that for a living? They wouldn't. A Nazi wouldn't try and save a black person. They'd do the opposite. It's ridiculous. Furthermore, white Americans are the most giving people on earth, actually. Not just in this country, but on earth. They donate more money. They donate more of their time than anyone else. Even not just in this country, but even in other countries. They'll take time off of work and go to Haiti for a month to try and help people after a big earthquake or something. I don't know those people. They're losing money to do this. That's not a racist. That's the opposite of that. But they also tip better than everybody else, right? They pay more taxes than everybody else. And some of those taxes go to all those other entities I was talking about that help people save their lives. They have more charitable organizations than anyone else. So the very people who are doing the most for you and saving more lives and homes and protecting you, that's the people you're calling racist? Come on. It's gotten ridiculous. People need to think for themselves. They don't think for themselves. They just go. Maybe they have pent up anger about whatever, and so they just choose to let it all out in one direction. Well, you're not doing yourself any good, and the people, the non-white people who don't do this, they're the ones who are usually the most successful because they don't look at everything through the eyes of racism. They judge people for who they are and build relationships with lots of people who are not black, or not Latino, or not Asian, whatever. Now, I'm a 60s baby. I grew up in the 70s and 80s. And I noticed less racism back then than we have now. And we were getting less and less racist, little by little. And then late 90s, the globalist deep state, they put a stop to that. And they started putting African American studies in school, and Latino studies, and Asian studies. Now that in itself is fine if you do it right, if you do it honestly. But of course they didn't. It was all negative. The only positive was one with black people that helped black people, or Latinos who helped Latinos. Never about the white people that helped them. I mean, Underground Railroad during the slave days, that was mostly white people helping the black people escape and go to the north. Clearly they're not racist, and a bunch of slave owners, if they're doing that. They don't talk about that stuff. So they put it all very, very negative toward white people. And very quickly, it didn't take but a decade, I started seeing the results. The early 2000s, that Latinos and blacks started to be more hateful toward white people, openly. Now, maybe some of them always felt like that, but I gotta believe that a sizable portion didn't really think that way until after they got indoctrinated, you know? So, think for yourself, people. I say it all the time. Don't let my father, my Greek father, used to always say something, and it's absolutely true. He would say, believe half of what you hear, or excuse me, I'm sorry, half of what you see, and none of what you hear. Because even your eyes can deceive you. And then if you just hear something, well, you just can't believe that. Go investigate it, think about it, find out for yourself. When I look at things, I look as deep as I can, see if I can find out the truth. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. And then I always think about things deeply, contemplate them. Like the things I was saying right now. A lot of people in this country, they don't even understand that white people help more people, far more people than anyone in the group. And they get little to nothing out of it other than the joy of helping someone. And many of them go out of their way to help black people and Latinos. So, just think about that. Next time you're starting to, you call a white person racist, and then later you have to call 911 because your son has a medical issue, and who shows up? Oh, it's those racists. No, they're not. Just think about it. Think deeply. Stop thinking so shallow. Stop being led like sheep. Just because Al Sharpton or somebody in La Raza or whatever says something to you. Stop that. Think for yourself. Myself personally, even when I was in grade school, I would question the teacher. I would get arguments with the teachers I didn't take what they had to say as truth automatically. I didn't. I questioned it. They would get mad. Sometimes I got sent to the principal's office. But I didn't care. I was going to think for myself and do for myself. You know? So, think for yourself. Only treat people based on who they are, what they've done. Period. Nothing else. Thank you. Mr. Wisdom, I'll see you next time.